TikTok, it's time to rock. Welcome to the channel, folks. It's my pleasure to be here again with the A-team, with the Rock Professor holding us up, and we have Brad hot in the studio.
Oh, yeah.
What was that? Could I ask, what was that noise at the beginning? That was sort of
That was me getting frustrated with trying to work out what was going on with these new bloody controls here on StreamYards.
right.
Yeah. How was the catch up, Brad, with Jimmy Page last week on location, bro? How did that work out?
Location, I got shuffled out of the venue with my arm behind my back and my face pushed forward at the door.
Like normal, then.
Yeah,
like normal. Yeah.
Well, one of the two, I usually get scruff of the back of the neck, like dragged out or that.
Can I tell you guys? Can I tell you guys a story, please?
Yes, come on.
All right. Okay. Years and years ago, in a lifetime far, far away from this current life that I'm living, I used to be politically active. Anyway, I went up with some friends to the conference of a party, the founding of a New Zealand political party. Anyway, they were taking names of young, strong, valiant vanguard members to run in and try and get through the main doors and up onto the stage and offer a speech. So, me being a diligent warrior for the downtrodden, I stuck my hand up, Brad, and I ran through the door, and there was a wall of cops, and they picked me up, and they literally grabbed me by my throat and my jeans, pulled me back, and threw me out the door.
So you got as far as the front door and no further.
And it was on the news.
So there's footage of it or not?
And it was a hard landing too. It was asphalt that they threw me on. So I know what it's like, Brad, when you get chucked out. I know what it's like, bro.
Well, look, there was a lot of people at that event filming like this. So I'm assuming that there'll be a bit of footage floating around on YouTube of me getting shuffled out of the venue. But my question to you, Andrew, is do you have any footage of you getting thrown out? I mean,
no.
A while ago.
Yeah. It was a long time ago in another 10 lifetimes ago, bro.
The galaxy far away, yes.
But when you said that you got chucked out on it, I've got an experience literally of being grabbed. And back then in New Zealand, cops were 6 foot plus. They weren't like six formers today. And they were tall and they had mustaches and they carried batons. And when they told you to F off, you did. Because if you didn't, Brad,
you left.
Yeah.
You got told, you did it.
Yeah, 100%. Not like today. Yeah.
No, you get let off with a pat on the back these days.
Anyway,
brilliant.
Good to see you guys. Thank you for allowing me to have my little tour down the memory lanes of my mind. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys, especially Brad. And the Rock Professor getting up in the morning, and you, Brad, late in the afternoon, where you are to join us to hang out.
Getting up late in the afternoon. Oh, the life of the rock star.
Oh, well, he was gigging. He was gigging last night.
Yeah.
Of course you were. Well, I haven't seen it. No pictures of some flash theatre you've been playing. Is that what you were playing last night?
No, we played a corporate event last night for a gentleman's 50th party at a place called the what was it? the wood yard or something like that. It was a very cool. I played there before a few times in
Cool.
Port Melbourne. Very cool. But I got home about 1:30, 2 o'clock, so very late night. And yeah, that as we do as rock stars, we sleep all day. What did Kiss, John ZD351's in the chat? What did Kiss say? Party all night? No. What was the Kiss saying? You know,
Was that,
rock and
I
roll
wanna
all night,
rock and
Wanna
roll all
rock
night.
and roll all night. Woo!
party every day.
Yeah.
I'll deviate just for 2 seconds on the Kiss tangent, and we'll get back to Led Zeppelin.
Okay. All
I
right.
always thought as a kid it was like rock and roll all night and part of every day. So I was thinking,
Oh!
what part are they talking about?
I'm part of every day.
Yeah.
Well done.
Nice one.
Over analyzing the music as ever, Brad. That's why you were destined for this show.
I don't know. I just thought that was pretty funny because I used to honestly think it was like part of every day. I'd be like, what part of the day are they talking about?
Anyway, it's good to see you, boys. But yeah, you're right, bro. Well, for you, at least these days, it's the part of every day is in the morning. So we get the best of you in the afternoon. Thank you, bro. I'm sure other people are getting the best of you in the morning too, but we won't talk about that.
Actually, I'm just wiping the sleep away from my eyes. I need to wake up.
Oh, dear, he hasn't had his afternoon nap.
I look forward to hanging out with you guys for a
Nice
little bit. We're going to be doing part 2, folks, of the great, outstanding How the West Was Won album by Led Zeppelin. We're going to be ranking these tracks, and if you were watching us last week, you would have realised that we were, giving Brad scores and 10 out of 10s, and I don't think we're going to deviate too much from those scores. It's more of an opportunity, seriously, for us to sort of just get together and I suppose talk about the tracks and celebrate them from a fan's perspective. So we do look forward to that.
Yeah.
And as John ZD351 said, yeah, we got Andrew to sing Kiss on the channel. Yeah, brother. Oh yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, we're not allowed him to do it anymore, John.
So we look forward to doing that, guys. We'll hang out, and we'll do the next 6 songs. Next week we'll have some photos. We're going to do a couple of shout outs, but I just want to remind people, I had a couple of messages sent to me about the show that we've got scheduled to do after these ones about record companies. So I can assure you it's not going to be a whinge, whine and a bash session. It's going to be, we're going to open up, we're going to have John on, hopefully if he's got some time, and maybe Hugh come on, and we're just going to talk about record companies, what we think of them, what we feel about them, their relevance today, but also we'll give you a bit of a history lesson too, if you're not sure, because there's some Zoomers out there, Brad, who probably have got no idea of how important record companies were for bands in the 60s and 70s. If you wanted this band here that we're talking about now, built its success, obviously Simon on its music, but also the close relationships it had with record companies, didn't it?
Well, I think the most important thing is what they did, and they must have been some pioneers about this, because Jimmy Page was loads, but they paid for all their recordings themselves. Well, the first album cost £1,750, which Page and Peter Grant funded together, and they went and then licensed it to Atlantic Records and continue to do that. And I think that actually is a really interesting, early example of we're gonna retain the control of our music and keep ownership of it, and we'll license the record to Atlantic Records, but they didn't sign to a record company in the way that most people would have done in those days and got advances and things. They signed to a record and said, put our record out, and and did it a different way. And I think they're a really good early example of starting to do things an alternative way.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that too. I'm sure between the 3 or 4 or 5 of us, we'll have some examples of some great relationships, Brad, that bands and artists have had. and obviously some tragedies as well. You know, there's been a lot of bands and artists too, Brad. As we just said, you know, there's been some great examples, but there's been lots and lots of great artists and bands who have been trapped into bum deals, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's like a seesaw effect. I think the industry needs them, and then does it like it was much better. But you know, there were a lot of bands that really thrived off because of the record company. 100%, Andrew.
Yeah, so we'll look forward to that. We'll spend a couple of hours talking about that, and yeah, so it's not just going to be promise a whinge wine session. It's like we like to do here, a bit of archaeology, a bit of digging, and a bit of history. So that's certainly what we're going to do. So yeah, we look forward to that. So we're going to do a couple of. Sorry, Simon.
I was going to say, didn't you think it was interesting, Jim Jazz Thunder put that copy of Sounds on the on our messenger group? Did you look through it? Have you read through it at all? Did you manage to read through it? No. Well, perhaps he didn't. Did he? I'm sure he did put on. Well, he put a PDF version of Sounds magazine, the whole magazine. And there's only 1 week, but every single I knew every single group in the paper in that week. Big,
Wow.
small, big
I've seen
headline,
that.
small bad company on the front. But I knew every single group. I could tell you something about every single group, and that shows you how small the music business was then. Now now they couldn't get anybody. They wouldn't get 10% of the artists in that are around, and I wouldn't know any of them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so we do look forward to that. So before the Rock Professor does a shout out, we've got some
Yay.
old friends that have popped in here, Jonas, and we also have our dear friend Arvin, who we haven't seen those two awesome cats for a long time. So I'm sort of preempting the official shout out by saying g'day to those guys. We're going to do a couple of shout outs before the Rock Professor will do that to you. So hold on, please don't go anywhere. So yesterday I was scrolling through my social media and Kenny Wayne Shepherd came up on my feed. And he was talking about the anniversary of Ledbetter Heights being 30 years and how they're re-recording that, which seems to be a theme that he's doing because he did that recently for one of his other albums and he's going to tour that album. And Brad, you and I shared a couple of words about that together too. You know, you remember the album coming up, so the heck do I. One of the great things about that song Deja Voodoo is that was a blues song, and we've mentioned this before on the channel when we've done Stratocaster artists who we've loved. But Kenny Wayne Shepherd, you know, this young guy was doing that, and that was in the top 10, and I have to give him complete credit for that. He got bashed by a lot of people when that album came out. There were a lot of journalists who just called him a copycat, and he sort of had that label for a while. But you know what? I didn't care. And you know what too, Simon? He didn't care either. He didn't care what the journalists said because the fans were digging it.
Yeah. Well, it was, critics are quick to criticize, but, you know, what they were accusing him of copycatting, well, those people that they were accusing him of sounding like copycatted it as well. It's not called copycatting to me. It's influence. You're thriving from your influence. That, I mean, they were. I'm assuming you're referring to the Stevie Ray Vaughan reference.
Yep.
Andrew. So Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, let's have a look at Albert King. A lot of Stevie Ray Vaughan's playing, especially his overbends like Sky's Crying and all that stuff. You could assume that's Albert King playing.
Yep.
So it's fair to say that he got, you know, hit with copycat sort of comments, but those other cats that he
copying
was,
Albert King, yeah.
So basically, it's just like a thing like Zeppelin got accused of copying, you know, and they're heroes as well. I mean, it's not copying, in my opinion. It's carrying the flag. I mean, you look at, say, someone like Philip Sayce, who's just released a new single, by the way, so go check it out if you haven't done it. But he gets a lot of reference in Stevie Ray Vaughan reference there and whatnot, but it's an influence. It's not necessarily copycatting. It's flying the flag, and it's the blues flag. That's what it is, Andrew.
And we loved it, and that's all
Yeah.
that counts. And I totally agree with you. So we've got that album, Ledbetter Heights, on the list because it's in the wheelhouse, as Rock Professor aptly described the albums that we do. It's definitely in there, and all credit to Kenny Wayne Shepherd for doing it his way, and making a successful career about doing it his way. And on his channel, he's sitting there and he's giving some guitar lessons, Brad and Simon, and he's describing himself. I'm just a blues guitarist, yeah, I love that. Love that. So that's on the list. So I want to do a shout out to Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Happy 30th anniversary. Brad, you've got some shout outs, and then the Rock Professor's got the real shout outs.
Yes. Look, Jimi Hendrix sadly passed away on September 18 in, when was it? 1970. So that was this week we celebrated the passing of Jimi Hendrix. And Simon, you said he would have been 83. Is that correct? If it was
That's
still
right, 83,
today?
I think. Yeah.
83 years of age. So, I mean, people talk about influences. I mean, he's influenced that many people, including Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Philip Sayce, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
You got it, bro.
Yeah. So I don't really listen to critics. And as far as I'm concerned, Jimi Hendrix was and probably will always be one of the greatest of all time, not just because of his technical ability, but what he actually did to the world of music. And he was one of the first real guitar pioneers. I mean, there were a lot around. I'm not going to discount that. But he took it, that psychedelia avenue, and he took it to the next level. So, I hope everyone on the 18th of September listened to Jimi Hendrix all day, because I know I did. And if you didn't, naughty, naughty. And I expect you after the show to go put on Axis Boulder's Love, the album.
We love Jimmy on this show. So I just want to back up what Brad said. We've ranked a lot of his albums, so go and please check that out. And we've done lots of shows just talking about Jimi Hendrix on this channel, Simon. And guess what? There's plenty more to come. So before the Rock Professor does his official shout out, Brad has got an incredible interpretation of him channeling Jimmy. So, bro, can you just please for the channel, can you please channel Jimmy?
Hang on. Yeah, Dick, feel groovy. It's really out of sight, man. Didn't rain no buns to push. Yeah. That's Bob Dylan's grandma over there. Oh, jeez. Also, another Hendrix disciple celebrated the 30th anniversary of his album Circus, Lenny Kravitz. So I remember when that album came out, and like the Kenny Wayne Shepherd one, I lined up for it, and it blows me away that was 30 years ago. I still, to this day, am shocked. When I saw the announcement to that, I was like, my goodness, where are those 30 years gone? But I remember that album coming out and specifically going, wow, he's really gone the Zeppelin vibe on this album. Yeah. Anyway.
Well done, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Rock Professor?
Well, that's how I go. No, we've got John ZD351. Morning, John. Hope you're good. Nice to see you. Yeah. Arvin, of course. And Arvin released a really good new song this week, I think, Arvin, didn't you? Under his real name, which I'm not going to reveal here because it's a secret.
I haven't seen it. If you can, Arvin, can you flick a link?
Yeah, he put it on Facebook, so it's you can find it on Facebook. But if you know his real name, I'm not revealing it here, Arvin. Your secret is safe with me. So, Jokerfish as well, new name to me. So welcome, Jokerfish, and lots of cool comments already. But, I agree. I don't think Stevie Ray Vaughan's a copy of Jimi Hendrix. I think a lot of other blues influences in there besides Hendrix. So it's so Jonas Halberg as well. He's back, having just had a hip operation. So if you had a hip replacement, Jonas, I hope it's going well. mate. And
Hope you're doing
back-
well, bro, because I know that's a difficult operation. I know lots of
Back on
guys
your
who've had
feet.
it. So, yeah. You'll be chasing the girls now around the block. Well done.
And Ellen as well. Good morning, Ellen. Hope you're well.
Yep.
Things are good in your world. It's let me see. Arvin, Jonas, John, Arthur, and Jokerfish. Well, there's everyone who made a comment. So welcome one, welcome all. It's great to see you. Oh, look, see, saw Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes playing Zeppelin. It was fun. I'll bet it was Jokerfish. Yeah, we did an album a month or so ago. Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes live at the Greek. Fantastic record.
Yeah, beautiful record.
Yeah. So we're all about it. More by luck than judgment, but cool. So
Yeah, that was a great show. We did a couple of shows, and that was again
Good fun.
fruits of an album that had been locked in the archive of the channel for a few years. And I do remember the three of us finally was kind of relieved that we actually did that show, guys, you know, because we kept talking about it, and finally it came up, Simon. So it was a pretty good show.
That's true. Yeah, we had to postpone it due to me having my head sawn off and having put back on again the right way round.
Yes.
Screwed in the right way.
Yes.
Yeah, what are these bolts here?
So we want to thank you guys for joining us, and also, you know, the few people that caught up and watched our show last week. You know, we're getting some views on there. Nowhere near as many views, guys, as we have in the past with shows. And I'm pointing that out, it's not a disappointing thing from the channel's perspective. We're just happy if just hanging out here with you guys here live talking about these albums, and we sincerely, seriously mean that. But one of the interesting things about YouTube and being a content creator, that's what we do. We quite try and keep an eye on what's happening with YouTube and its policies. So they've put their prices up next month. So their Red subscription goes up about $4 or $5. So they're always after you for extra. But I've followed a few channels over the last week or so, and I think our channel's just fitting into a bit of the groove, the theme. Dave Simpson did a show recently on his channel saying, you know, that he was really, really concerned about the traffic and the views and the subscribers he's getting on his channel too. So when big channels, Brad and Simon, get alerted to that, and then I look and see, you know, that a show that we've done is under 200 views, and we've done similar shows on the same artists that are in the thousands. It's like, okay, all right, there's definitely something going on, and so it's just me dovetailing that on behalf of the channel, that even small channels like this in the YouTube universe, Brad and Simon and folks watching, we are echoing what big giant channels are discovering, Simon and Brad.
Yeah, I think that's right. I saw that Dave Simpson thing as well, and clearly I've noticed it some other channels as well that are saying that that what they did before is no longer working on on YouTube. Clearly, Andrew, you get the analytics for this and all the other bits, which we don't get. But yeah, I mean, we're fortunate in that we're doing this for the love, not the money. Basically, we're not looking to make a living off this. And I think people like Dave Simpson, who've got 150,000 subscribers, does look to it. And I think that from what I sort of gather with other channels, like, I mean, Rick Beato is huge, but he makes his money off his courses. I think Rhett Scholl, who's his sort of protege, or other way around, he also has done courses and stuff, and I think they do. Rhett Scholl particularly posts less on YouTube than he used to, because his other things are, Patreon and the courses are keeping him going in a way that YouTube isn't. Interesting.
Yeah.
Morning, Gretch. How you doing?
Good to see you, Gretch. So,
So
yes,
I think that diversification is something that is becoming more and more imperative. I think as you go along, and
well, the issue
merch.
for us isn't a living, so that's never been the prime motive. Getting you guys, the kind people like Arvin and Gretch, or Arvin, and people who are channel members. Your subscription and you, Simon, certainly goes to help. And I've said this many times to the subscription for StreamYards, which gives us the ability to do all this nicely, and also to pay for the Red subscription. But yeah, I just thought that would be interesting to make those parallels. Our small channel is reacting, Brad, exactly the same as what's happening with the big channels. So there's definitely something going on with YouTube as a platform and people, or YouTube as a business, and what they're doing with their content creators. It's one or the other, or a little bit of both. But I don't want to get bogged down in that. But thank you for allowing me to point that out, guys.
No problem.
Cool. So John ZD351's got this interesting comment. I know my feed has seen a lot more, obviously, AI created stuff where AI voice reads exactly over shitty AI. Exactly. These videos are getting pumped out with no. Exactly.
Look, personally, I would like to see. I mean, they're pretty quick to copyright, flag you for things, and they're pretty quick. So I would be. I think it would be nice if they were able to identify those AI, voices and those thrown together videos for views, like clickbait, and separate that from creators like a channel like this that do, talk about music and talk about and podcasts and whatnot. They shouldn't be punished by the people that are out to just try and get clicks on their YouTube videos for money.
Yeah, good point.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think one of the great shames is that YouTube don't protect us from from copyright things and being able to use parts of music as fair use for educational purposes. Because I think if us talking seriously about the music and seriously about the bands who created that music, I think that we should be in that exemption section where we're not being penalised for paying 30 seconds of Led Zeppelin doing something, because it's want to demonstrate something. But we've got no chance to small channel. I mean, Rick Beato has a lawyer full time. He's I know, yeah. New money spinning activity, Brad.
Well, that's one I could try and do.
Yeah. And I suppose, what we could do is we could always ask for people to become channel subscribers. And we do that every now and again. And we do also say, if you want to support the channel, hit that super chat link. We don't do that nearly enough. There's a lot of channels that I watch and they do that every 5 or 10 minutes. And that's fine, because in between them asking for these pecuniary incomes, their content's good. But it's never been what we're about here. And it never will be. It's about Brad, Simon, and I, and you guys getting together, talking about this great album, How the West Was Won. So I think I should kick it off, because I'm going first today with going to California. What do you reckon?
I think we should get on with going to California.
Yes,
Stop being sidetracked as usual.
We haven't spoken about Led Zeppelin yet.
Yeah. So I'm going to California, guys, off the incredible album Led Zeppelin 4, isn't it? And what an album that is. And we've ranked that album here on the channel too. So I'll, if I remember correctly, I'll link all the shows that we did to this show if you're interested to go and listen further to what we've said about these albums. But I've got to say straight away, guys, isn't Plant one of the greatest vocalists ever?
100%.
I just, when I again sat and listened, to this set of songs again a couple of days ago, you know, and it's just incredible, his performance, Brad, especially in 1972, because that's burned in the back of my mind after the conversation that you and I with the rock professor had. You know, 1972, hitting their straps, and he just sounds so incredible on this track. I just can't believe it. You've got Page playing double D tuning, Brad, on this song. You know, it's just an incredible and it's a powerful song. I'm going to leave some room here for you guys to talk about it, but definitely the star for me, you know, again, when I'm sitting listening to this set of 6 songs, Simon, was just the voice and the power of Robert Plant. He's just incredible. I can't believe actually sometimes, you know, that I'm listening to this guy and he just gets better and better, especially with some of these other acoustic songs coming up, which I think I'll leave that for those songs. Brad, I'm going to pass it on to you, but you know, what an incredible performance by Plant for me. We've got Digital Guitars UK, Andy in the chat. Good to see you, bro. I have to give this a Brad score. I was going to give it 10 out of 10, but you know. Brad score, bro.
Yeah, look, it's following on from the first 6 tracks that we did last week. It's a complete change of pace, and you know, the first 6 tracks are full on. I mean, there's no, like I said in the last week, there was no stopping them. They were relentless. Then this 6, well, this first few of the 6 tracks we're doing today are acoustic, and it really does set the tone. You can really hear the silence and the hush of the crowd. I mean, the people are actually listening, and that's what I love about it. It's they're hanging on every word that Robert Plant's singing. I love the sound of the guitars, like the acoustics chiming. It's bright. There's like a folksy sort of sparkle going on there, and very delicate. I'm assuming it's John Paul Jones on the mandolin, as he's the man of many talents, and those lines are weaving around that guitar. Gives it a real Celtic sort of flavor, in my opinion, and really makes it interesting to listen to. And obviously, there's no drumming here, but Plant's voice, you know, as you alluded to and brought to our attention, Andrew, he's singing softly a lot, but he captivates you with his voice, and he's fragile. There's a lot of purity to his voice, and there's total serenity when he's in the moment, and you get captivated by you get lost is the word I'm looking for when this song's on. You kind of get lost in the theme of the lyrics, and it's a beautiful song. I mean, we get to a few electric songs, you know, in this 6 tracks, but like I said, it's a real palate cleanser, and you can only imagine what it would have been like going to their concert and then pulling out an acoustic set, and that would be just the, you know, some people would say, oh, that's the time to go get a drink at the bar, but then other people would sit there and just listen. And for me, that would be one of those moments that you actually get the opportunity to catch your breath and really just listen to what's going on there, and be soaked up in the whole moment. So for me, Andrew, I'm like you. It's a 100 out of 10 for me. It's a beautiful song, and yeah, the highlight obviously is Robert Plant, without a doubt, on this one. Simon,
well done. Thank you, bro.
Yeah. I think it shows the confidence of the band, doesn't it? That you don't just play. Most bands would do an acoustic song as a kind of, you know, little sort of feature. Oh no, you know, we've got. Well, they did 4, didn't they? We've got 3 on the record, but they did Tangerine as well. And I think there's that, you know, where they all got stools out, sat down, you know, sort of change the energy and the vibe of the concert completely by doing 3 or 4 acoustic songs and just sitting out there. And I think it's fantastic, and I think that that having that confidence in yourself to be able to go, yes, we can go and play an arena, and we can play, we can play to 50,000 people, wherever it is, and we can do a 4-song acoustic set in the middle, and people will go for it and things. It's I think it's great. So I agree, Andrew, that just the acoustic and that dissonant mandolin playing that John Paul Jones brings to it, it's just it's lovely, but it's got a bit of grit to it as well. I think that clearly going to California is a nod to going to California as a straightforward thing. It's I think it's, as you said, Andrew, great singing. I think it's he carries and I think that the thing I'll say a lot about Led Zeppelin, and I'll say it again, it's a great song. It's got great melodies, and it you can do what you like, but if you don't have a great song, you can play on acoustic guitar, it's not going to work. But this is a great song. It's got lovely interplay between the mandolin and the acoustic. They just do it. It's like a gentle stream going along, and it's lovely, and a nice little reference to Joni Mitchell at 408 as a thing. So 10 out of 10 for me, never a skip. But I love the confidence, and I admire the sound. Sounds great as well. Andrew,
Awesome. Thank you, Helene, for the nice words. And again, this is one of the reasons why we do this show. It's it's just family and friends getting together here. I keep repeating myself weekly, don't I, guys? But it's true. It's just getting together, talking about great music, and we certainly look forward to it. And if just hanging out with us for a little bit helps people,
or indeed later is just fine. If you need someone to send you to sleep or something, we're here to oblige. Or as Jim said, left a comment on last week's show. If you want to, listen to 5 minutes of us and then go and listen to the record, that's fantastic, and listen to it, and maybe anew is something we may have pointed out you may have missed. That's really cheering.
Yeah.
And John ZD351, brother, thank you. Yeah, we always
he was asleep. Well done, John.
Yeah, and I'm mindful. I'm thinking ahead here of shows. I'm mindful about the new Springsteen film coming up, and I'm thinking we have to watch that, Brad, and yeah, because it's and we'll get together and we'll get John on and we'll analyze the heck out of it. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So, second song that's the way. So, off Led Zeppelin 3, and because John ZD351 is here in the chat, I have to. I'll always forever remember John ZD351 not having very much of an opinion on Led Zeppelin 3, for a lot of reasons, and it was an album that he never paid a lot of attention to. And a lot of other Led Zeppelin fans, Brad, I remember when we did that show, sort of said the same thing. And then when you go back and renegotiate it, so it's interesting that we're getting, obviously, early on in 72, a lot of songs off that album. If we thought Going to California was great, it just gets better with this song, doesn't it? And it's interesting because we've got concerts after this where we actually see them sitting around, as you guys have described, in their acoustic situation. 75, Earl's Court, the famous gig. 77, Brad, so did
I mention?
So yeah. So we do have video footage of how incredibly powerful these musicians were sitting there, playing these acoustic sets. It's a shame we didn't get that on 72, but definitely from my perspective, that's where it began. That's where the acoustic act on a rock and roll band, and again, this is Led Zeppelin breaking all the molds and actually recasting them in themselves and their own power as musicians. I don't know what Jonesy is playing on the mandolin. It's not tuned standard, and unfortunately, I forgot every time I thought about it to go and do some research to see what his tuning is, because he's not playing the mandolin the way you would normally or usually associate playing the mandolin. He's picking notes, and those notes obviously reflect what Page is doing with his guitar, and it just works so well together. Again, revolutionary. I can't think of any other mandolin player that plays the mandolin like Jonesy, Simon. I can't. Completely revolutionary. And to hear this, Brad and Simon 72, and it just gets better and better as they progress. But it's there, Brad and 72. Just think it's incredible. Again, this is. Please forgive me. It's not quite a Brad score. I'm kind of contradicting myself, but I can't give every song a Brad score, so I'm going to give this one 10 out of 10, Brad.
Brilliant.
Yeah. That's a good score. It's a good score regardless, mate. So,
thank you.
Hi, Tony. That's the way. I love this song, and I always have. And it's definitely Zeppelin being very vulnerable when they're acoustic like this. And I love that rolling pattern, Simon, that Jimmy Page plays on the acoustic. Like obviously it's an open tuning, so it's got that that very openness to fluidness when he's playing that opening sort of riff, or it's a riff, I guess what you would call that chordal sequence. It's moving, it's rolling, and I love that. Just that I think it's a real tender, gentle highlight on the song itself, like that rollingness that he does. It's just got something that makes Robert Plant's voice just work around it. It's very human. It gives him the opportunity to, fill in all the spots and float across it. And obviously there's a lot of stuff going on there, a lot of color from Jonesy again. And I love how you find Robert Plant's holding off coming in singing till he gets that, the sort of the cue to come in from the band, the way they're playing. And obviously there's no drumming in it, so Bonzo is probably at the back having a beer or something. I'll leave it clean.
Crafty fag.
Yes. But I think it's a wonderful version. I love when they play acoustically like this. Like you said, Andrew, it would have been lovely to see more video footage from this era, but I guess we should be grateful and blessed that we got it a bit later as well. I would say this one itself is a 10 out of 10 without a doubt, and never a skip. Simon.
Absolutely. Just been having a look, Andrew, and apparently the mandolin is tuned standard, GDAE.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently it's tuned standard.
Wow.
There's no credible evidence that John Paul Jones deviated from the standard GDAE for his work at Led Zeppelin. So it looks like it's a standard tuning, sir.
Wow. Unbelievable.
I see.
Hey, Tony.
So
maybe it's just the way John Paul Jones plays, Andrew.
Yeah, 100%, bro. It's incredible.
It's all in the picking.
Yes.
He plays those weaving things with Jimmy Page. But you're right. I mean, that's the way it's continuation of Going to California. It was same instruments, acoustic, open tuned acoustic guitar, mandolin, and just kind of, again, that lovely interplay between the two. It's kind of delicate, melodic. It doesn't try and push, doesn't try and try too hard. It just, you feel like it's kind of, I feel like it's sort of, it's not really practiced. They just play together like that, and that's how it works. It's kind of dovetails together. And I mean, it probably is worked out, but as you just said, Andrew, the way that John Paul Jones plays the mandolin, complement to what Jimmy Page did. Great sidemen, great, studio players, Oh, look, that somebody's doing that. I can play to that with this, and make something interesting out of it. So,
can I just interrupt, Simon?
Yes.
There's a great comment there by John. The mandolin's standard, what you've just said, but the 12 string is played in open G. So that's why the mandolin sounds different, because the guitar isn't standard tuned, Brad.
Guitar's not tuned, so it makes it sound different. Yeah, gives it different context. Yes, brilliant, John. Well done.
Thanks, guys.
We can rely on our audience to be ahead of us. That's fantastic. So, but yeah, that interplay, lovely, gentle acoustic mandolins play on this track, and has a kind of hypnotic, bucolic quality that is really nice. And I give this a 10 out of 10. I think that going to California and this fit together beautifully as a as a double piece, and of one. So yeah, Andrew, back to you.
Thank you, Simon. Yeah, and thanks, John. Thanks, guys. This is what it's about. We're all here to learn and share and participate and having a great chat. And Tony, I've said g'day to Tony, and I've said g'day to Helene. So great to see you. So another song, guys, off Led Zeppelin 3, Bron-Yr Stomp. Stomp. Bron-Yr Stomp.
He's a Welshman, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, we didn't know what it was back in the day, Simon. We didn't know it was Welsh. We thought it was some kind of runic language, some kind of, secret pathway, some kind of secret code into the pathway of the power of Led Zeppelin.
I tell you what, it is interesting, is it, that in those days, how did you know how to pronounce it? Did you hear anybody say it? Maybe on the radio a bit, but if you caught it once, if you blinked and missed it, but there was no way of saying, how do you pronounce this or anything like that. You just, I told you that story about the British journalist David Hepworth, who when he was at school, he thought Bob Dylan was called Bob Dylan. Because Dylan, he thought it was pronounced Dylan. They all called him Bob Dylan until they heard somebody say it on the radio. But I hadn't before that. But
I had a cousin who thought Led Zeppelin was the singer.
Well, no, absolutely, yeah. There's famously, which one's pink, isn't it? It's
Now we're getting now. No, we don't want to have that conversation.
What, the Floyd?
No, we don't. No, I'm taking it somewhere completely different.
Behave yourself, Mr. Watson.
Right.
Behave. This is a family show.
Okay. So anyway, back to ranking the track. So obviously, look, we're in for a shindig here on this track, isn't it? We're starting to ramp it up a little bit. Why is it ramped up a little bit, Brad? Why is this song ramped up? Because it's got the other Led Zeppelin dude that comes in. His name's John Bonham. He's coming in and he's offering his perspective to what these acoustic cats are doing. And isn't it great when you sit and listen to these acoustic sets and then you hear Bonham come through and just having his contribution? Again, who would have thought that percussion would have just meant so much to the band, so much to what you're hearing? It's just incredible. And 30 years later or 40 years later, I still can't believe that, that this is what the ingredient is in this band for musicians. Blows me away, Brad. I just can't get enough of it. And because he's come in to it, I have to give it a Brad score. One other point though, before I do that, because we all love John Bonham. One other point that I'd like to raise with you, Brad and Simon, is how influential these acoustic sets have been for other bands. For example, Extreme, Nuno Bettencourt, Wholehearted. You go and listen to how he's playing the guitar on that song, Brad, and you go and listen to Jimmy Page and what he's doing on this. boy, man, you know,
You
again,
see where he got
so
it from.
100% Simon, 100%. And it just goes to show how, again, we're going to keep repeating that when we talk about this band, not only influential in our lives, but in other giants' lives. Brad Score.
Yeah.
John Bonham.
John
Right.
Bonham. Yes. All right. Look, the mood lifts definitely a little bit here. Obviously acoustically, but it's got the stomp in it. And I really love that. It gives it a really earthy, but earthy feel, but almost like they're sitting on a back porch or something and having a bit of a shindig, you know, having a bit of fun.
Sure.
The guitar, you know, the way Page is playing, very very percussive as well, and he highlights his rhythm sort of right hand playing on the acoustic. Obviously, it's not polished, but nothing Page does is polished, nothing. But it's got the Jimmy Page charm, which gives it that that thing that we all love about Jimmy Page. So, you know, well done for that, Jimmy Page, because it's a wonderful guitar part he's playing. Got John Paul Jones on a bass. I'm assuming it's an upright bass. I'm not sure if anyone will be able to tell me that.
Gotta
but
be.
Sounds like an upright bass, and he switched it up a bit. And he's putting the bounce to the track. He's keeping it, you know, like I said last week, he's in tradie terms. He's the liquid nails in the band. He's holding it together. And, you know, obviously Bonzo singing as well, the vocals, along with Robert there doing the BVs. So that's pretty cool. And I guess Plant, he's having a bit of fun, pretty loose, throwing it around a little bit. It's got a country feel to it, and bit of folky sort of feel to it as well. And you can really sense they're having a bit of fun. And at the end of the song, there's the Lord of the Rings reference, Strider, in there. So when he goes Strider, yeah. So
Can I say, Brad? That's not. He says Strider, like he's from the West Country.
Yes,
Strider.
Strider.
Yeah, but so yeah, it's a definite 10 out of 10, guys. Never a skip.
I had a
Simon.
dog called Strider.
Yeah,
Well done.
cool. Yeah,
You ranked that well, bro.
yeah.
Dog names. My friend Charlie had a dog called Trigger.
Thanks, Alan. That's a good score. Brad score.
Oh, Brad score.
Trigger. Awesome.
See? Yeah. It's so yeah, I can't really have much. I think you're right. I think that the drums, you know, as the end of the acoustic section, you know, just with that single drum that John Bonham plays is what kind of leads you to the next thing, which is lots of drums. Interestingly, I don't know who it is, but there's somebody singing harmony with Robert Plant. I don't know if it's John Bonham. Might be. I can't remember who it is, to be honest. But there's certainly harmony singing with Plant, which they've not done before. Plant's just done all the other stuff on his own, so that's really nice as well. I think that harmony part, and you know, the crowd claps along, doesn't it? It sort of gives it sort of follows Bonham, gives it that sort of dum dum, which kind of makes you say this is the end of the acoustic session. We're now going to move back into the electric stuff, and you know, some subtle pointers to that. But yeah, some really nice harmony singing. I didn't find out who it was, but and yeah, 10 out of 10 and never a skip. They have an atmosphere, don't they? They have a vibe, a feel to them, these acoustic songs that, you know, just really nice, relaxed, and kind of you know, chilling out. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for me, never a skip. Now we're into the interesting stuff. Andrew.
Yeah, I just want to echo a point. I've made a bullet point here too, Simon, about the interaction of the crowd on that song that we just, it's really good. They've mixed that in so that you can hear that, Brad. And yeah, I thought that was really clever. It was just, fantastic. Again, wonderful production on this album. So you're right, Simon. We're off on to Dazed and Confused off Led Zeppelin 1, one of the greatest songs ever recorded. I don't intend to talk about any controversy with the song, so we've avoided it when we ranked the albums. We just mentioned it in the intro. If you're interested in the controversy, go and check out Wikipedia. There's a great entry in the history of what the song was about. But as far as we're concerned, we're talking about a Led Zeppelin song, and they made it famous. And there's a history there, definitely. But from our perspective, Brad and Simon, this was the song that put, Led Zeppelin on the world stage. And Simon, we get 24 minutes of it on this. They're going to write university courses, Brad, on this song.
Yeah,
not the band.
No, just the song.
Just
the live performance of it too.
Yeah. And we love all the live performances over the years that this band has produced the song. Just quickly, I don't often go to Mr. Wikipedia, but I do. Mr. Wikipedia's got some good facts there, and fans are normally updating it as well, which is good compared to what it was in the early days. But this is one of their most performed songs, Brad and Simon. Apparently, there's been over 400 performances that Led Zeppelin have done of this song over their career. Isn't that incredible? That just blows me away that that they've done that. So we're going to take Mr. Wikipedia at heart. This is the band that defined rock and roll with this song, and this song defined this band, if that makes sense. What Jimmy Page does on this song stands him out alone as the guitar hero. We talk about this often, Brad and Simon. In the 70s, he was the guitar god, wasn't he? Jimmy Page. Everybody had posters of Jimmy Page, and he earned that. He earned that by developing himself as a guitar player beforehand, coming together in this band, and obviously being elemental in this band with these other guys. But I just want to talk about, Page specifically on this song. This is the song that defined him in my mind, and I think in generations since it came out, as the guitar hero. 24 minutes of complete and utter ecstasy. It's just incredible, and I listen to it straight. I don't need anything else to enjoy it with other than AirPods and speakers, Brad and Simon. This is a huge score. I'm going to let you guys talk about it, but what a song, Brad.
Wow. Dazed and Confused. I mean, this is an absolute epic version of it. I mean, my favorite version of Dazed and Confused live is from Song Remains the Same. I think it's the most listened to version of Dazed and Confused I've ever listened to. Personally, that I'm talking about. But this one here, obviously, if I'm going to go listen to Dazed and Confused live, I usually put Song Remains the Same on. But I've been gravitating to this one a little bit more so now. You can hear, this is 1972. You can hear them sort of morphing the arrangement, the jamming and stuff like that that I know of. Like the Song Was the Same version. They get into it. There's moments in there that are almost identical, and then there's moments that are completely and utterly improvised and on their own. I love how they throw a couple of their own little songs in the middle, the Crunge being one of them.
Yeah.
You can hear Page at one point play like a chord that's reminiscent of like the intro to Achilles' Last Stand. So I think they utilized this song as a launching pad for new songs as well. But I have to say, like, straight back to Electrics, and we're into an epic mode. It's a centerpiece. This song used to be a centerpiece of Zeppelin, their live performances. 24 minutes is a long version, and It's very experimental. It's heavy in sections. It's got the violin bow. It's got the jams, the chaos. I mean, some of those improvised sections where John Bonham and John Paul Jones alone are really getting into it, and it's up tempo. Page is, it sounds quite like chaotic, and I know in the Song Remains the Same footage, there's people chasing each other backstage, this and that. Like that's perfect. It's got that chaos going on there. I mean, even like today, we're listening to it in the car. And my partner Jackie said, "Well, what's going on here?" I said, "Well, you have to understand this would have been, you know, a live performance of the song is completely different to what, you know, in '72 they would expand, they would jam. He would do the violin bow. It was like you know, there'd be silence while he'd be playing the violin bow because people would just be in awe of what's going on.
It was a visual experience too, bro. Exactly. Yeah.
So it was more than just what you're listening to. And, you know, part of in my description here, I said basically the audio is only really one side of this song. I mean, obviously all performances, you see the whole band, you see the light show, the whole bit, but this song in particular, you really need to see the footage for it as well. I know they haven't got footage for this particular version, but I'm just saying you can just picture it in your head when you listen to it in your headphones.
Yeah.
What's going on there? I mean, Jimmy Page is, you know, that violin bow is very eerie. It's psychedelia. There's a lot going on there. The riff, the whole thing. I mean, he plays fearlessly in this version. John Paul Jones is a monster, and he doesn't just hold the groove. He's really pushing it sections. He's pushing like Jimmy Page. He's pushing Bonzo, and it's got that thunderous sort of sound as well. He's just a phenomenal bass player. You know, it gets a bit lost at times because there's so much going on. But if you listen to what John Paul Jones is playing, he's holding John Bonham and Jimmy Page together at one part because they sound like they're off in their own little tangents, and John Paul Jones is just keeping it straight. He's keeping it together. So I'm going to give massive props to John Paul Jones here. John Bonham is relentless. I mean, he's not just a timekeeper, and he never has been. He's been a big part of, you know, playing the song and big part of the guitar riffs as well. I mean, you listen to some of the sections in it where Jimmy Page will go, he plays it on the drums like the same sort of mimics the riff. But he does that throughout songs as well. So he's not just a timekeeper. And some of his drum fills and whatnot are just incredible on this. You know, if you're an up and coming drummer, please do yourself a favor and just listen to as much John Bonham as possible. That's all I have to say. You can never get enough John Bonham. And vocals here, I mean, Robert Plant is at his wildest. He's screaming, moaning, doing all sorts of improvisations throughout the song.
When you're moaning and groaning.
And he does. He mimics the guitar lines, and he becomes like another instrument in the lineup as well. There's a lot of madness within the song itself, and the best way to describe it is, you know, chaotic madness to in between two bookended bits of the song, basically. So you've got Dazed and Confused, the chaotic, the madness, the violin bow, all that. And then there's the outro solo improvised, and then it goes back to Dazed and Confused. It's like a big jam, basically. And I know this song in particular, you know, they did have a format for it, but it never stuck to the same way. But yeah, I've got to give this one a 100 out of 10, guys, and never a skip. Simon.
Yeah.
Ooh,
thanks, bro.
Only a Brad score.
Yeah, well, okay.
Only a Brad score.
I'm really joking.
Only a Brad score.
Well, interestingly, I've written 58 lines of things that are going on in this song. So when I go through it, I write, you know, things. Planting, famous riff played, dynamic exploding. You know, I put times as well. You know, 3:18 hammer-ons and hammer-offs, 3:30 more interplay, 3:50 move into improvised section. You know, so I got 58 lines of this stuff on what's going on in this song. It's just relentless, as I say. But it starts off with that kind of descending, ominous, atmospheric bass line, played by John Paul Jones, with the gong as well. Let's not forget the gong, because all songs are improved by having a gong at the beginning. But as you so
Always.
eloquently said, Brady, yes, there we are, you see.
Do it again,
Do,
Andrew. Ready?
do, 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 do.
Oh, sorry, bro. Hold on. Sorry, bro. Sack me. Slow on the finger.
You're fired. Yes. But considering it's three musicians, the amount of dynamics they get out of it is extraordinary. There's loud, there's quiet, there's hammer-ons, there's fast playing, there's slow playing, there's the bow stuff. When he hits, starts off with the bow, just stroking the, he hits it, doesn't he? He goes dang, 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 dang. He's got that hitting section, which massive full sound. And I know that they'd started to Andy says, could this be the Brad Score gong? Yes, it could. But I remember this is when they started using the laser beams. So he'd be out on the stage with these laser beams above his head, kind of, in the days before health and safety. But it was incredible. Just, but as I say, the amount of dynamics, the amount of the way that they interplay, Bonham up and down, 1 minute he's driving it along, next minute he's backed right off. As you said, Brad, if you want to know how to do drumming, this is how to do drumming. The whale noise section, it goes on and on, sort of the way that they do it. There's the crunge bit, and there's another bit of another song as well called Walter's Walk. I don't know where that is, but that's clearly another bit somewhere in it. And as I've written down, drop downs, more solo, searing playing from Jimmy Page, more intricate drumming, all these things, all these different little parts, these different, somebody's doing one thing, somebody's doing another thing. They don't do that again, they do something else. It's constant movement of the song rolling along. It's just, I've said before about Jimmy Page, find it extraordinary that I don't really understand the mindset of somebody. Right, I'm going to go on, and I've got 25 minutes. We're going to fill. We're going to play a song for 25 minutes. Not really sure what the mindset is. I'd love to ask him what his mindset is going into. I'm going to play 25 minutes. The band is going to play 25 minutes. It must have been extraordinary, really, to be in that and have three other musicians who are simpatico like that and can play together for that long and it still be riveting playing and what's going on, and all the different parts and things, intricate, riveting playing. I can't speak too highly of it. Really is if you want to know what we did back in 1972, this is what they were doing. This was the Mount Everest of really of playing and of jamming and stuff. I don't the Grateful Dead certainly jammed, but I think they jammed in a very different way. The Allman Brothers had longer songs, but all worked out. So maybe some similarities there. But I think this is out on its own in what he did and that consistency. It's a huge score, isn't it? I mean, it's the absolute apex of what you're trying to do as a musician, I think. And 72, they were on it, weren't they? They were absolutely on it, on fire. And I'm going to listen to this 100 times and never find it boring, never find, there's stuff going on. You're going, I wish he'd hurry up and get to the, never that, always consistently interesting and, changing, rolling forward. So, yeah, huge score from me, definitely. Gong and everything. It's could not be better.
I'll tell you a funny story about this song before we move on. I was driving around a car park with this song going. I was trying to find
Well,
a car
recently,
spot.
this week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And I couldn't find a car spot because there was that many cars. And I was starting to get cranky, as I do when there's lots of traffic around. And as I'm driving around the car park, the
Yeah.
I was starting to lose my mind. I was going to get
Right
out of
on
the car and
time.
start swinging.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been dazed and confused, baby, for so long.
Yeah,
It's
so
not
long
true.
it's not true. Yeah, driving around this car park, never bargained for you. Yes.
Yeah, that's good work, Simon. Yeah, that's what I was sort of thinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well done.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah. Anyway, back to you, Mr. Walton.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. And, you know, there's some great video footage performance. Tony's just mentioned one there of the black and white footage of them when they're in Denmark. It's incredible. We've mentioned that a couple of times. Page playing his Telecaster with the bow, and the band is close together. And, you know, plants just, you know, and when he goes, I'd like to introduce to you Led Zeppelin. Ding, 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 ding. It's, yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Wow, wow, wow. It's got the wah, hasn't he, in that verse?
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. What a song. What a band. Car Park Blues. Andy, you're Brad, I want you to go and write a song called Car Park Blues, bro.
I'm onto it.
You're on. Okay. Look. From two Andys.
It's got to reflect your trip around the car park, trying to find a parking space, getting increasingly frustrated by the fact there aren't any.
Yeah. And every time there's a Brad score, we got to do.
Yes. Oh dear.
Last song that we're going to be talking about on this part 2 show, guys. It's a song
second last, sir. Second last. Dancing Days is.
Dancing Days.
Yeah. What is and never should never be. I don't mind, but that's what I've got in my head.
Yeah, sorry, Dancing Days is the last one. Yeah, what is? I should read my notes better. What is should never be is off Led Zeppelin 2. And again, what's really interesting about this song is that it was the first song that Plant used his Les Paul. Not Plant, sorry, Page. All these P's. That Page used his Les Paul on. But gosh, Simon, you know, sometimes I started the show by saying that I just can't believe sometimes that I'm just listening to this band, and in particular, Robert Plant. And I just I've just made a note here. I just can't put into words sometimes what it means to hear Robert Plant sing, you know, especially on this song, the way that he just can hit different notes, Simon, and you get a good appreciation of him hitting those different notes on this song. It's just incredible. It's just, brilliant. And you mentioned that, you know, he had one song there where we didn't know who was doing backing vocals. 99% of the vocal performances that this band did live was just one singer. That's just
absolutely. It's amazing, isn't it?
You know, the Stones were using in 75. They had backing vocals. 72, Mick was singing, you know, by himself. 75, he realized, you know, he needed something.
More than Keith?
More than Keith.
Just Keith, yeah.
Yeah. I included Keith, in my mind. Sorry, but in 72, it was just the two of them singing. 75, you know, onwards, you know, but Plant didn't need that, you know, and just to hear, you know, again, Brad, the power of this young guy in 72, you know, just singing like this, it's incredible. 150, Simon, you know, I'm doing the Rock Professor's point on time thing here. At the 150 mark, you've got that incredible slide solo. again, Page is playing his slide and standard tuning. It's not an open E or anything like that. It's his guitar is set up really, really, really. He likes his action, as we know, like really, really low. So the fact that he's playing slide on guitars that are set up low, just again proves to me the guy's just a master slide guitar player as well. His technique, and he's playing this live, Brad.
Yeah.
He's not sitting down in the studio playing. You know, he's all this is live while he's walking around, you know, doing his Jimmy shit.
He's strutting.
What a great way to describe it.
Yeah. It's just an incredible song. And then obviously to add to the power of that, you know, you've got that punch coming in, guys, from Bonham and Jonesy. Just, you know, you can hear the bass. It's just fantastic. It's a great mix. The power of those two. You said it before, Brad, you know, John Bonham is just incredible. And every time we talk about him, you know, he's, if not, you know, the best rock and roll drummer, he's certainly in the top 3 in the world.
Yeah.
Becomes
you know,
a preference thing, doesn't it? You know, whether it's Ginger Baker, whether it's John Bonham, whether it's whoever, it doesn't matter. But you know, he's up there, isn't he?
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. You're right. Well, one day it's, you know, if I'm listening to the Stones, you know, it's Charlie. If I'm listening to the Beatles, and I've mentioned this to you before, guys, this Vintage Drummer channel, and I'll share the link with you where the guy is playing. He's got his kit set up like Ringo Starr, and he's got this camera, and he's showing how Ringo plays the drums, and I'm watching like a bird over it. You just get an appreciation of how incredible Ringo Starr was as a drummer.
100%.
See, they weren't the Beatles until they got Ringo Starr.
You nailed it, Simon. Yeah, it's just incredible. Yeah. And anyway, I'm passing it back to you, Brad. I'm giving this 10 out of 10. Not quite a Brad score. We're not gonging it.
All right. Well, what is and what should never be? It's always been one of my favorite songs off Led Zeppelin 2. Back in the day when I was in one of my early first bands, we covered it. I learnt the good slide solo on standard tuning, and you know, it's not the easiest solo to play at the best of times, but Jimmy Page just obviously it's him. He knows what he's doing. He plays it, and I love that part of the song where it stops and it's sort of waiting for Jimmy Page, and you can hear his guitar start to feed back before it starts coming in with the slide. Just it's wonderfully done. This is pulled back a gear from the last song. It's got more of a dreamy feel to it. I love the light and shade in the song, the way they do the verses very light, and then there's the choruses are explosive, and part of the explosiveness is John Bonham. I mean, he just really brings it on his game in this one. I mean, he keeps very restrained, but he's holding back. It's like you can picture like a tiger or a lion being restrained and then letting him go, and then restraining him again and letting him go. That's what he's like in this song. The song itself is a wonderful song. You know, it's got that sort of jazziness to it in the middle, the verses, sorry. And then obviously when the song kicks off, goes to the bridge pickup on the Les Paul, and it's meat and potatoes, it's nuts and bolts. It's got a real vibe to it, this version of it. John Paul Jones, musically, he's one of the highlights on this. I mean, he's the star on this track, if you ask me. That bass line is something, you know, that you'd expect to hear from John Paul Jones. It's a walking line. It's amazing. It's melodic. It's slinky. It fits in with John Paul Jones, with John Bonham's drumming so wonderfully well. But even when Bonzo's going off on a tangent, playing massive drum fills and whatnot, John Paul Jones just locks in. Robert Plant's vocals, I'm going to sort of back you up here, Andrew, where you said, you know, he's singing. I mean, his storytelling, he's singing those verses held back and very restrained, and he belts those courses through. He's selling it, you know. He's really giving us some, and ad lib bits where he's like, yeah, and all those bits and those things that he does. So even my voice already went cracky from trying to get those notes. You know, I mean, for me, they were the perfect band, really. And I'm going to go out on a limb and maybe upset some people here. I'll say that John Bonham was the greatest drummer ever. And this song highlights that for me. Ever. I mean, I love Ringo. I love all the drummers that Ian Pace. I love them all. I love, you know, Ginger Baker. I love all the drummers equally, but Bonzo is always going to be just sitting quite nicely on top for me, like icing on a cake. He was the man. And this song in particular, him and Jonesy on this are the stars. And for that reason at all, I love his like, the way he does it. 100 out of 10, guys. Never skip. Where's the gong?
Oh yeah. Hold on.
He's forgotten already.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to turn.
Yeah.
I'm going to. We've got a volume control here. How about this? Better?
We're turning into another channel.
Okay.
We're morphing.
Steady. Yes. Easy with the volume. I've dropped my Les Paul on my toe. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I just pick up a couple of things. I think you picked up most of it. Again, I think that Brad, you picked up on it at the beginning, where, you know, if I say to you tomorrow, it's got that kind of jazzy drumming. You know, you could tell what some of John Bonham's background is in. You know, like Ginger Baker, is in that jazz tradition. You know, of the drummers that preceded him. And there it is coming out, you know, the jazzy drumming in that first verse, and you know, with the bass and things, and just that really light guitar, you know, just sort of, you know, you think, well, that could be some sort of jazz standard that you haven't quite heard yet. It's and that goes away when you get to 20 seconds, you know. John Bonham comes in with, you know, with the, but it's creating a dynamic. You've got that kind of jazz thing, and then you've got that sort of thunderous, you know, coming in thunderously with the drums and a louder guitar for the chorus, and you know, and that dynamic between, as you said, between the verses and the chorus is what this is about. It's you know, and the slide solo, it's a great track, and I absolutely 10 out of 10 from me, and never a skip. Yeah, it's fantastic the way that it's arranged. Andrew.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Ellen. She's having a bit of a laugh there, so yeah, great. We have a bit of fun. And there's Tony's comment there about the song that we discussed a little bit, Dazed and Confused, Page's the Dragon Telecaster. It's incredible. It's incredible what he was doing with that guitar. And then what he did with the Les Paul not long after that. Name another bassist.
Two popes after.
You can think of one.
Fantastic.
Pope John Paul II. Yeah, well done. And that.
Oh dear.
See, they knew the future.
Yeah, the future is John Paul. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in Rome when John Paul I died, and I couldn't go into the Sistine Chapel because the cardinals were electing the next pope.
Oh, okay. They'd locked it up. You couldn't say, "Hey, I'm late. I'm late. I should actually be in there."
Let me in.
Let me in. Hey.
Go away.
Go away.
Integral.
Last song, guys. Dancing Days. And if I remember rightly, when we were ranking Houses of the Holy, we made a comment, guys, about how this song, I remember vividly, was included on this album before, and they were playing this before they released it on Houses of Holy, which came out in 73, and they were playing this in 72. So I'm glad that we're actually talking about that, because when you listen to this song that they're playing live and then going in the future, notice segue into the future, go into the future and listen to it on Houses of the Holy. It's just incredible. I've always loved the song, Brad. You know, it's just fantastic. It's brilliant. You know, Page's vocals again on this is just incredible. That whole album, it's one of my favorite albums. And, you know, for us to be finally now talking about it included. So they realized there was something really cool about this song too. You know, it's a happy song, isn't it? It's joyful, and you can tell that the band, when they're playing it, you can just imagine, you know, what they would be doing. They love playing this song. Another song too that they played for a while there in their live performances. Incredible song. I included it on the advert for the channel on Instagram. I just think it's great. Love all the versions. You know what, Brad? I'm going to give it. Right. I've got to give it a score.
Yeah.
The Brad score. Go and check it out. But yeah, the fact that they were playing this before they released it live, kind of might have bewildered maybe people in the audience, because they weren't familiar with the track. But again, they weren't scared to play tracks, you know, before they were released. Brad.
Yeah, Dancing Days. Like you said, Andrew, it's one of the newer songs at the time. You know, it's got an upbeat sort of feel to it, like you said as well. It's playful. You know, it's a refreshing change too. You know what I mean? It's got a nice upbeat feel to it, and the riff is something is the highlight for me. I mean, it's got an Eastern tinge to it, and it is in a alternate tuning. It's not in a standard tuning. Just if you're not sure about that, I'd have to Google it, or I've got it written down somewhere, because I did learn it many years ago, but I remember it's not in a standard tuning. So if you're wondering why Jimmy doesn't play a solo on this version, it's because he's in an open tuning, so he just plays the riff out instead of soloing. But yeah, it's a wonderful song. I've always loved it. On Houses of the Holy, I think it's a great version. But this is I guess you could call it. This is probably a masterpiece in the works. You know what I mean? This is where it came from. They were getting it tight. John Paul Jones was right in the pocket of this one. Gives it a slightly funky undertone or undercurrent there. It's got like that funkiness to it. You know, John Paul Jones, you know, on this whole live performance on the Howler West's one is the unsung hero, really. And John Bonham, I mean, he's having a lot of fun here. He's playing the song a bit lighter, but he's driving it. He's really giving it a lot of drive. He's got some playful drum fills. Robert Plant's delivery is cheeky and fun. He's not really going for the power in a lot of it. He's really just holding it back by the song, but he's really fitting in and grooving with the band, and he's almost teasing the crowd because maybe they're not familiar with the song as well, which is pretty fun, I thought. But I'm with you, Andrew. I have to give this one 100 out of 10 and never a skip. Simon.
Stop that. Well, yes, I think you're right. Brad Plant's in his tenor voice, in his chest voice, isn't he? He's got that kind of, you know, not way out. He does a bit of it, but in the main part, he's down in his tenor voice, chest voice, which is lovely. It's a rich, resonant voice, and I just had a look while you were talking, and Dancing Days on Houses of the Holy is apparently the start of his playing with irregular tunings. So on the record, he's got a DBG DGE, which I don't know if he's playing that on this. Be interesting to know if he did, but it's funny. The first thing I wrote was that discordant guitar over the steady drums at the beginning. So maybe he has retuned it. I don't think he didn't have that retuning stuff. He's got all those. He's got the switches and stuff, hasn't he? On his. But I think that's later. I don't think that's now.
That's later. This would have been an alternate tuning. I mean, he mucked around with it
Might
on
have
White
been another
Summer
guitar,
and,
was it?
you know, in the earlier days. But yeah, he was really, you know, writing. He started to write stuff in alternate tunings just because it opened up a whole another avenue, Simon.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know if whether he tuned his guitar live to just, or whether he had another Les Paul that was tuned to it for this number. I don't know, but you know, we've said it a lot, but the bass line that harmonizes with what Page is doing is just brilliant. I think it's, you know, I've heard another bass player saying that they had to learn some Led Zeppelin stuff, and they started off and they said, I just wasn't playing anything like what John Paul Jones was playing. He was playing something completely different, you know, in a completely different place on the neck. The harmony bit is everything, and this is a really good example of that bass line harmonizing with Jimmy Page, and you know, and I wrote down there's some lovely bits in it again. 142 is a fantastic drum fill by Bonham. Just, you know, the old foot is going 19 to the dozen, and fantastic. So watch out for that. And a nice little wah-wah solo towards the end, doesn't he? Actually got a pedal out and uses it as a wah-wah at the back end of it. That's cool. I gave this a 10 out of 10 and never skip. But you know, again, it's a different thing. It has a different vibe, a different coloration to it to previous tracks, and you know, and I think that's what's brilliant about them, that the way they mix it up and the way that the tracks are all different and have different vibes and different things going on in them. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for me. Never skip. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Brilliant. Well done, Simon. Appreciate it.
6 tracks.
Yeah.
Hit.
Yeah. So we look forward to finishing Zeptember off next week, folks, with the final show. So we'll be live the same time that we currently went live, but just we'll keep you in the loop because there'll be New Zealand heads to daylight saving next weekend. So I'll set the show for the same time that we're currently done. And I think Brad and Simon, when your clocks go back or
get
forward,
up earlier.
Yeah. But that's going to be in a couple of weeks' time. So we'll keep you in the loop with that. But if you hit the notification button anyway, you'll be able to keep track on when we're going live. But next week and the week after, I think there's about 4 weeks or 3 weeks of when do your clocks go back Brad?
I'd have to investigate, Andrew. I haven't really looked into it. You're one step ahead of me, my friend.
It's all right. It's okay.
Well, what's interesting is that YouTube works it all out for you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, but we'll be going the same time next week anyway. So, but Simon, when your clock goes back, unfortunately, I'm very sorry.
Oh my God! Then I go back to the 26th of October. oh, my leg. I'm gonna have weeks of how to get up really early. That's right. That's fine. No worries. That's right. Yeah. So
it'll only be half an hour early. We'll make a compromise.
Okay. Well, oh yeah. Okay. Yes. 5 o'clock in the afternoon or 6 in the morning. Thanks.
Mine goes. I think it's 5th of October. Mine goes
But-
forward. Oh, back. No, forward.
That
Goes
sounds like
forward.
Forward.
Andrews.
Yeah.
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 Oh, I'm getting confused. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
yours
no.
go-
Ours
yeah,
is next.
spring
Ours is
forward.
next weekend, which is
Oh,
the
yeah.
last weekend in September. It used to be the first weekend of October, but yeah, the government changed it. But anyway, yeah. Sorry to divert everyone's attention
it's
to
fine.
menial things of daylight, but we just don't want people to sort of go waiting here in a couple of weeks' time. Where are these guys? You know, or turning up late or whatever.
Yeah.
like we never do anyway.
Yeah, but next week definitely will be the same time, and the week after the same time, and we'll just monitor it. Guys, I'm going to wish you well for the week. Simon, if you
Yeah.
want to do a shout out to the folks,
Yeah.
and we'll
Yep.
we'll boogie.
We'll boogie
Yes,
off.
do.
Yeah. So thanks to Ellen as well, who she and I are on the same score, so we're doing very well. Andy, Digital Guitars UK, thanks for. He said that's a lot of gong for a Sunday morning. I agree. John said D351. Excellent, John. Nice to see you, mate. Hope you're good. Arvin, of course. Yeah, and if you know what Arvin's real name is, you can go and search out his new song on which he's put up. It's really good, really good. He has some talent, does Mr. Gaunt. He's not called that. Tony Bowen, nice to see you, Tony. I hope you're good, mate. And going along, Ellen, Tony. We had Helene O'Hara. Helene, nice to see you as well. Hope you're well and things are good. I noticed you were looking after your mum, so let's pass our thoughts on to her. I hope she's all right. But Gret Zeppelin, of course, Gret Zeppelin, who didn't play Going to California when he was driving to California. So -4 points for that. Gret, Jokerfish, good to see you. Thanks for joining. And new name there. I don't know. That's fantastic. If you enjoyed it, and go and listen to the album and enjoy it. That's great. And Jonas Halberg, recovering from his hip operation. We hope that's going well, Jonas. That's good. And so, yeah, I think that's everybody. Hopefully, I got everybody. Great to see you all. Thank you very much for keeping us company. And we'll see you next week for part 3. Never knowingly undersold this show.
Some more Les Paul action. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Bloody hellfire. Yes. The Les Pauls of Doom. Whee!